Afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So, before I get started, I would like for you to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notifications button anytime I put out some new content. My life lately has been a little rough, so I haven't been able to put out content as I previously promised, but I will try to do my best for you guys, put out some wholesome content. So today I would like to talk about pain and struggles. Pain, people perceive pain differently, and how to deal with it. You know, everybody deals with it, and it's an expectation of life that you're going to deal with pain. And, you've got those people out there who say, well, pain is just weakness leaving the body. And I tell them that's bullshit, straight up. Pain isn't weakness leaving the body. Pain is you growing. And pain is way broader than the basic physicality of it. Physical pain is by far the least pain that will change your life. Emotional and social pain is what changed your life. So you've got the three different kinds of pain that, and from my perspective, is what you deal with mostly in life, which is social, emotional, and physical. Physical being, okay, I got a cut, it bleeds, it heals. I know better than to touch that sharp object again, or I don't touch a hot stove twice, kind of deal. You learn lessons that way. And early on in child development in your life, those lessons taught you your fundamentals of things. But your emotional and social pain are what help you develop into who you are. And I kind of hate to say that, but it's true. People they say that our struggles is what defines us. I'm a true believer of that. I believe people who have struggled, who have went through a lot of things, who've had to do things through life, tend to be a little more emotionally attentive, tend to be a little more sensitive about things, and they tend to be a little more understanding. Now, is that always the case? No. Some people are just gifted to have emotional connections and social connections and just, flourish in those things. But most people, you have to feel a little pain to grow. And it's just, and it's just like growing as a teenager, when you're having your growth spurts and it's painful. Your emotional pain is the same way, and your social pain. So don't go through life thinking pain is a bad thing all the time. Pain is you growing from a situation that hurt and that you wanted to avoid, or that it had outcome that you didn't really necessarily want, like breaking up with your wife, or your children not loving you, or your children saying mean things to you, or a parent abusing you. Those kinds of things help you grow in life to where you might not necessarily turn out the same way they did. Now, we are products of our environment, okay? So a lot of people, they come from a certain environment and they never get out of that environment. Certain people, actually most people, man, they just don't really grow out of where they come from. And some people do. I mean, some people, they come from a rough upbringing or whatever, and then they learn from that, and they don't want their children to experience that, so they treat their children drastically different than they were treated as they were growing up. And that's the case with me in my life and the way I treat my kids. I don't do them in any way the way I was raised up. So, pain and fear, those two things are really what keep people. Pain helps you grow. Fear can be useful to keep you cautious, to keep you from making crazy mistakes. But you got to overcome certain fears. You got to overcome things. You've got to experience new things. If you're an introvert, man, sometimes, if you want to, be active and do stuff, you have to let some of that go. I mean, it's okay to be introverted, but you've got to build relationships too. So you can't just be you can't be your own best friend, you know. But as far as, and from my perspective, as far as pain, fear, working with the struggles that I see in life, self-reflection has been my biggest go-to to help me get through some of that stuff. I self-reflect so much because I see, you know, maybe I could have done something a little different, or maybe I should have said something a little different, or maybe I could have approached that a different way. I always go with self-reflection to help me grow. And sometimes in some situations, you know, I say I handled that situation the very best that I possibly could, and the outcome just still didn't turn out very well for me. And I have to feel good that I gave my all and it still didn't work out. That happens in life sometimes. But self-reflecting on a regular basis helps you grow, helps you understand who you are, helps you be somebody that people are going to want to be around, and somebody that you're happy to be, somebody you could be proud of yourself. You can lift yourself up from anything. You know, I had a man one time tell me, he said, when you fall down, there's only, you're looking up, you know, so there's only one way, and that's up. So if you can look up, you can get up. And I believe that, you know. Self-reflection and putting myself in other people's shoes, trying to understand from their perspective where they're coming from with certain situations. I mean, sometimes I just, for the life of me, can't understand why people do certain things they do. I'm just like, I don't understand how you can do that. But I do give it a fair chance. I do say, hey, you know, maybe this person was emotionally abused. Maybe this person was having problems. Maybe this person can't handle their emotions, or whatever the deal is. Maybe certain emotions trigger certain other, you know, memories and feelings that cascade into something totally different. But putting yourself in somebody else's shoes in a situation will really help you approach the situation at a more mature level. And it will also help you understand maybe why this person is doing certain things. And so that will help influence the decisions on how you interact or how you deal with those people moving forward. And, you know, I can't say I've always done it, but 9 times out of 10, when I'm in an argument with somebody or have a disagreement with somebody, I really try to stay calm and collected. I try to, even though I'm burning inside with whatever the deal is, with the emotion that I'm feeling, sad, mad, whatever, in a confrontation with somebody, I do try to stay calm and collected, because a calm and collected mind can think rationally and can when you're calm and you're collected, you can hear things that people are saying instead of hearing what you want to hear. You actually hear what they have to say. So staying calm and collected helps you stay grounded and rational. And in any argument, the person who stays rational 9 times out of 10 will win the argument, because they're thinking from, you know, a perspective that it's not so emotional, and they're not skewing things up. It's fact-based stuff. And I also, the other thing that I try to keep going in my life is the fact that I've had to tell myself that I have a right to be happy. I have a right to live a fulfilled life, because I've only got one, and I don't even know how long it's going to be. Nobody knows their next day is, you know, what their next day holds, and nobody knows how long they're going to live or die. They don't know anything about that. So you have to live, you know, you have to strive to live a happy and fulfilled life. And for me, I take that as a right to be happy and live a fulfilled life. And what I mean by that is, you know, I have a right to do things that I love to do, work on cars, or, you know, talk to you guys about my perspective on things. I love it. I really kind of enjoy that. Or, you know, playing cards or whatever the deal is. I have a right to be happy. Now, does that mean I got to be happy all the time? And no, because that's a dreamland. You're not going to be happy all the time. You're not going to get everything you want most of the time. You're not going to get everything you want. You have to learn to settle on some things. You have to learn to compromise on a lot of things too. But when it comes to your happiness, you can be happy and compromise at the same time with somebody. Living a fulfilling life, you know, I mean, that helps keep pain in check. That helps keep fear in check too. If you can see a light at the end of the tunnel, man, you're in the darkest part of your life. You're sitting in your house. It's dark. You're crying. You're alone. There's no one calling you, no one texting you. You're just alone, and just everything is collapsing around you, and you just think that life is it's the end, and you're contemplating things that aren't healthy, mentally or physically or even emotionally. That's not very healthy. But if you can just hold on in your heart to the next day and say, I'm going to do something I enjoy. It might not be nothing more than planting a flower. It might not be nothing more than mowing your yard or whatever, but that one little thing. And you're going to keep doing that, and you're going to keep doing things that you enjoy, and you're going to try to fulfill your life, fill your time, and then you're going to let yourself heal. And you're going to fulfill what you love in life, and it's going to keep your pain in check. And there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. And I know a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people only see the bad. And that's part of the problem with people nowadays, is that they only see the bad. They never really, the good is expected and the bad is unfortunate. And it's just so terrible. And I absolutely am an advocate for a person who is doing things to make themselves happy. Now, if it's destructive happiness, like, hey, I'm most happy when I'm sticking a heroin needle in my arm. No, not that kind of happiness, the constructive kind of happiness, to where you're growing as a person, you're having a positive impact on the people around you and your community, and you're an asset to the world. You're not a detriment. So to reflect a little bit on what I'm talking about, so pain, it is our struggles that define us, guys. Our struggles help us, be more compassionate and move on, and help us grow strength and stuff like that. And when I say our struggles define us, I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. I mean that this our struggles that give us strength and help us know that, hey, we've been through something, and we can go through something again if we have to. Weakness leaving the body. When people say, oh, pain is just weakness leaving the body, that's BS, straight up. Okay, that is a tip of the iceberg when you're talking about pain and dealing with emotional distress and stuff like that, and even physical distress, man. I mean, it's overcoming your fears and using fear as fuel. Fear is useful. Fear will help you be cautious, but you can't let it bind you. You have to use fear constructively. And then for me my personal stuff that I do to help me get through my pain and fear and anxiety, is I self-reflect. I do it every day. I mean, every day, take 5 minutes to self-reflect. Have I done good today? Have I done something nice today? Am I being my best today? And do that every day, and then you'll be your best every day. And you're self-reflecting. You're always growing. Staying calm and collected when you're having an argument or your disagreement with somebody. Stay calm and collected, and keep your thoughts rational. Keep your ears perked. Listen to what the person's telling you. Don't listen and hear what you want to hear. Listen to what they're actually telling you. And then try to put yourself in their shoes from what they're saying. And it's not all, you can't always understand, but try. Give it an effort. Stand in their shoes, try to understand where they're coming from, and try to see if you can connect with them like that. Now, sometimes you can't. Sometimes putting yourself in other shoes and you're just like, I still don't understand how you're doing what you're doing. I don't understand why you're doing it this way. But just understand that if you're giving it an effort, a lot of people can respect that. If you're standing in their shoes and saying, man, I don't really understand where you're coming from. It's beyond me, but I'm trying to help me understand. And a lot of people will respect you for that. And then if you can kind of sort of get in their shoes a little bit, you can understand where they're coming from, and you can approach it in a different way, and you can make a resolution that works for both of you. And understand, number one in your life, the number one thing that you need to understand to overcome pain, to overcome anxiety, to overcome these kind of things, is that you have a right to be happy and to have a fulfilling life. And there's nothing I want more for my kids than to understand that. If that's the one thing I can ingrain in my children, is that, well, there's two things I'd ingrain in my children 100%. And first thing is hard work equals good reward. You know, like there's nothing wrong with working hard to get what you want. But I would say that you have a right to be happy. You have a right to be fulfilled. You have a right to have a fulfilling, happy life. And you do what you have to get that. And then it's going to be different for everybody, but those are the things that help me get through with pain, with anxiety, with dealing with my own weaknesses and working on my own character and trying to be a better person. Because every day I want to be somebody that is loved. I want to be somebody that is helpful and somebody that is an inspiration for others, like others have been an inspiration for me. So, but anyway, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.